So, welcome back, viewers. This is another part of the series of wealth creation in Germany. And today we have a special guest with us, which is a very near dear friend to me. This is Jan. So, hi, Jan. Thank you so much
Nice to
for
meet you,
joining
Gaurav.
this. Thank you. So for viewers, Jan and me have been friends for I think around 8, 9 years. We have known each other, and Jan was kind enough to invite me to his wedding. It was one of the first German traditional cultural weddings I had attended in Germany, and it was fantastic. So thank you so much, Jan, to for joining this call today. He is a financial professional. He's been working in Germany for quite some time. He's also a real estate expert who knows a lot about how to invest. He himself has a portfolio of couple of real estates. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jan, you are already financial free with these assets. And most of his time is now spent on traveling around the world. Last time, I think he was in Mongolia, where he shared some lovely photos from there. So yes, definitely a lot jealous from you, Jan. But please, the stage is all yours. Tell us more about like how did you achieve this financial freedom?
Thanks, Gaurav, for inviting me to your video session and to your YouTube channel.
Thank you, Jan. So Jan, first question from my side for you would be, really curious. So you said that a couple of years back, you told me about your real estate portfolio and you were building and working on it. Now I think it's mature enough. And you said that this is one of the key crucial steps for wealth building in Germany. So please explain to our audience how does this entire setup works?
I remember that conversation. We were sitting at the restaurant for lunch and
Yes.
sitting there until dinner time. And you asked me, do you have 1 hour for me? Yeah,
And
that
took
was,
six six
yeah,
hours from you.
but it was I enjoyed that conversation so much because seldom people are so interested in that topic. So the most important things about real estate, we're in Swabian, and most Swabians are having a phrase. It's called Schaffe Häuslebauer. So we are really fans of real estate, and that's how I got interest in that topic. And I saw really early in my life, when I was 16, I realized if I want to have a life where I'm free, and if I want to live my dreams, travel around, and so on, I need money. And real estate shined like one part to reach that goal.
Yeah. For all the viewers, it's a very interesting phase, Schaffe Häuserbau. And why I'm saying this is because Jan comes from south of Germany, which is also very prevalent for a cultural community known as the Schwäbisch community. And this phrase of Schaffe Häuserbau means like save till you can build your own house comes from that culture. So that's why I thought Jan would be one of the best people in my friend circle to invite for this podcast to talk about real estate. Because this is, I think, engraved in your DNA. This is taught by generations to you that how you should save and build house and build a portfolio and be financially free. So, okay. Um, so next question for me would be, Jan, why did you choose real estate? There are also other investment vehicles, right? Like ETFs, cryptos, gold. But why
Yeah.
did you stick with real estate?
So of course, don't put all the eggs in one basket. So I also have the others, but I started with real estate. There's one very easy reason. When I started, I was 19. So I didn't have very much money. And the banks in Germany, they don't give you a loan for investing in stocks or something like this, but they give you a loan for buying real estate. So I could leverage my capital. So it was very easy to make bigger investments than from my own capital I have in my bank account.
So basically, you would say diversification is nice, but real estate was some of the low-hanging fruits for you to say to get invested in, and especially because you could use leverage from bank, you could take a loan from bank. And so, talking about loans, so what's the strategy? What's the advantage of investing into real estate? Why real estate? And especially like
Um,
answer this in from a perspective of expats like us. Like we are coming from India. We love real estate, by the way, But why do you think it makes sense in Germany?
I mean, first of all, it's quite secure. German real estate market is quite secure. You have something which is here. It's no somewhere else in the world. You can touch it, you can see it. Second is you have the leverage of the bank, which I named before. And third is there are some tax benefits you can claim in Germany. If you own real estates, you can put some costs in your tax declaration, which you couldn't if you don't own real estate. So the government helps you to grow a real estate portfolio by giving some tax refunds or at least tax benefits.
Interesting. Do you want to talk about your portfolio a little bit? What do you hold in your real estate portfolio? And like,
Sure, we can do. So actually, I own two houses. One is rented out, and one is currently where we're living. So I mean, Gaurav, you know, we built a long time. So
yes.
since a few days we are living here, and these two real estates, and in the other house there is two different flats. One very huge flat, which is 200 square meters, and there I put a WG inside for students. There are living 7 students, and there is one more flat inside which have 70 square feet, and there is living a common family. Then I have another flat which is a WG for 3 persons, and one more flat which is a WG for 3 persons, because they are all located in next to Ravensburg or Weingarten, so it's a student town next to our hometown. And the location is really good for doing this. And one more flat which is common rent out to a normal person. Actually, this is the flat which I began because it's very small. It has 45 square meters, so it was not that expensive. So I could afford it very early in my age.
So when you say two houses, you mean like two complete buildings, not just two
Yes.
apartments. And then
Yes.
there are multiple apartments inside this two houses, which you have rented out, and this generates your monthly revenue or whatever from this.
Yes.
Okay, understood. And it's interesting, like you talked about two strategies here. So you specifically chose a town which is not Munich or Berlin, it's a tier two town. Um
Yes.
but what you did thought of was that there should be students, because to make a Vege, then it's strategically very easy for you because the people probably would stay for longer, right?
Exactly. And also the WG is it's very like the German law is very strong protecting the renters, because and some of the renters, I mean, not definitely not all, but sometimes they are really messy, and they kind of destroy your flat. And if you want to have them out of the flat, it's very difficult. And if you have a WG, you would don't have, in my opinion, you have less of these problems, because they force their persons who are living in the WG. And if one of them is messy, they say, "Hey, clean up the kitchen." Like, you know what I
So
mean? So it's
self
kind of they are controlling each other.
very smart. I mean, we have a very different opinion. So, uh, we hold also a couple of real estate back in India. And my father always used to say, it's hard to give it to students because they make the house dirty, especially the bachelors, the men, the boys.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, it's interesting. It's other way around, yeah, because more people are staying together, and it's mostly like girls and boys together staying in an apartment, and they control each other. That hey, I am also
yeah,
using the same bathroom and toilet or same kitchen. Then better you clean it, yeah. And they have like this, I think, plan, weekly
yeah.
plan or something that you can put in place. Oh, very
I
nice.
mean, of course, they sometimes it's not very tidy up or something like this, but uh, it's not extremely bad, because if it
Uh,
would become extremely bad, they would complain about it. But if there
yes.
is no other person who can complain about it, then it's difficult for me to even see it that something happens in the flat.
Interesting. Jan, but you have so many apartments. How do you manage them? Because if like the more real estate you have to maintain them, for example, some lights go off or some plumbing goes off. So how do you manage it? And then to make sure that the rent is coming monthly, this is also
Yeah.
like work and stress, right? How did you manage this?
So in the beginning, I did all of my own.
Okay.
And now I have an assistant from my common work, and
Okay.
I made an agreement with her that she is taking care of all this. And if there is something like plumbing or something like this, she organizes all the stuff with the craftsmen and so on. So she's mainly doing the main stuff, and I just enjoy.
So, wow. I mean, Jan is also a very famous diving person. He has invited me a couple of times. He does skydiving on a regular basis, and this has been a hobby for him for quite some time because he's an avid traveler. Um, so, Jan, where are you planning to travel next? By the way, a fun fact, on his wedding, he told all of us to give him a suggestion on one place where he should travel. And I think
Exactly.
60-70% of that list is complete by now, I guess.
Yeah, it is. And actually, the next step, like Melly and I, my wife and me, we were traveling a lot of outside of Europe
Yeah.
because we especially kept Europe as easy traveling region when our child is coming. So as soon as he's born, we are planning to rent or buy a camper and then doing a road trip through Europe. Because
Oh,
actually
wow.
in Europe, I don't know very much because we mostly traveled outside like Mongolia, China, and somewhere else.
I can't even imagine. Like, I don't even have it in my list that I will ever go to Mongolia, but crazy hats off to you. By the way, congratulations. You and Melly will be having a son soon. So, yeah, best of luck for that. We'll pray. And yes,
Thanks.
I'm looking forward for that picture where you have this big van with Melly and the little baby, and you're traveling around Europe and sending me more images and making me jealous. So I'm looking forward to that.
I will call you and we can take a video from somewhere in Europe.
For sure, for sure. All right, let's come back to the topic in hand, which is real estate. So you said um, diversification is great. Real estate, that's why is a great option because it's tangible, you can touch it. And also, like, you have built these micro strategies in place for buying the real estate because you said that, okay, tier one cities are too expensive, and maybe that's why tier two cities with student makes more sense. You can convert them into Vege because they are self-controlling, and this can create generation of wealth itself. And also, real estate could be a low-hanging fruit because this is only one of those asset classes which you can buy on a leverage or a loan from bank. So stocks cannot be bought with a loan, or any other asset like gold or cryptos. You won't get a loan for. All
Yeah.
right.
Exactly. And
So
the loan, by the way, just one more information regarding the loan. The loan is usually the interest rate is very low. Like few years ago, before the war in Ukraine started, it was nearly zero. Actually, it's like 3%, but it's always around the inflation rate, maybe a little bit higher than the inflation rate in Germany. So you nearly get the money for not paying a lot.
oh, wow. Okay, so 3% is quite low if we compare it to India specifically, I would say. Is it possible, Jan, that maybe I can take a loan in Germany and then invest it in a real estate back in India or
It
any other
is
country? Uh-huh.
possible, but then that's not a real estate loan. So up to 50,000, it's quite easy. It's running as a personal loan, but you will get good interest rates depending on how much equity you will bring into that intent loan. But the real cheap loans are the ones where the bank has a security in the Grundbuch. Grundbuch means the register where is the real estate located, and that's not possible if the real estate is in India.
Okay. So I would have to take a private loan, which is still cheaper, right? If I
Yes,
compare it to India. Yeah. Okay.
actually they're in between 5 to 7%.
Ooh,
So
okay.
it still makes sense. We have a lot of customer taking private loans here and pay back the real estate loan in India because they are more expensive.
Ah, interesting. And is there a limit to this loan, or that you can take only this much, or how does that work?
Not really, but most of the time the banks are giving you somehow 70,000. If you want to have more, you need to have a very good salary or income, because they usually always look in your personal situation and decide how much they will give to you.
And like, how would you define a good salary for the bank to get the loan?
I mean, most of the expats who are watching that video usually are working in IT, I guess. So they usually have that good salary, like in between 80 to 120K, I guess. So with that salary, you should get 50 to 70K. But
As
always
loan.
depending to your personal situation, of course.
This is for private loans, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how about real estate? So if I want to buy a real estate in Germany,
Mhm.
what, like, how much can I afford in this range of salary you mentioned as a
I
loan
mean,
from the bank? I mean, yeah.
if you buy a real estate, they usually give you quite a lot money. So it's all you need to consider two facts. Like, do I want to have a loan in that high, and do I get the loan? Getting the loan is not that difficult. If there are some basements done, like you need to have an approval that you can stay in Germany if you have work and so on. So the blue card should be at least there, or even more. And the second thing is salary should be good. There should be no befristeter Arbeitsvertrag, like no ending
Fixed, yeah, contract.
yes.
So
And
unlimited contract, they should have that. There is no end date to the job contract. Okay.
yeah, that makes more easy for you to get a loan if you have that. And I mean, it's possible without, but it's difficult, more difficult, because most of the banks say, okay, we don't give loans to that persons who have ending contract. And then it's making more difficult to negotiate to get a good condition. And
Understood.
then they consider the value of the real estate. If the value is fine, they will give you, if your salary is good, up to 100% of the buying price.
Oh, wow. So that means no money technically I have to pay for buying a real estate.
Technically, you have to pay the 10% aside usually. Like there is notary, taxes, and so on. So this is usually 7 to 10%
Hmm.
aside costs. If your salary is really good, they probably will finance that as well, but the condition will decrease very fast. So the bank takes very high interest rate on that kind of loan. So I recommend at least to pay that costs, and even better to have 10% in your bank account and of the value of the buying price of the real estate. But that's possible, and without that, but the condition is a bit higher. So it depends on your situation. What do you decide?
So just to understand that correctly, so if I, let's say, want to buy a house for 300,000 euros, then I should have at least 30,000 euros with me on an average, depending upon which city I buy in. And that 30%, if I show, then bank can technically give me the loan for rest of all the
Yes.
amount.
Yes.
Okay, understood. And how many real estates should one buy before he could go like actually so-called financially free like yourself
Um,
on an average?
On an average, I would say it depends on so financially free means that the passive income is higher than the expenses.
Yes.
So it depends definitely on your expenses, but I would say, and also depending on the how many flats inside the house and so on. But I would say 3 to 6 real estates, and then you're quite well done.
Wow. Thank you so much for giving time for this podcast, Jan. We know that you are also consulting people with these buying real estate and helping them with financial loans and stuff. So if some of our viewers want to get in touch with you, how can they do this?
So I will share a link with you. They can book an appointment with one of my partners. Um, myself, I don't do any new customers, but I have trainees, and I have a very well trained team, and they can handle that. They can give you an advice, and especially for your viewers, I can share a link where they can get a first call, which is for free.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jan. So yes, of course, I forgot your fire goals are complete now. You're financially free. So, of course, you're not working and mostly traveling and enjoying with the family, and you should. Everybody should. Uh, but yes, I'll put the link in the description for you guys. So if you want to get a free consultation with Jan, feel free to get in touch with him. He's a very nice guy. He's been in my friend circle for a couple of years and has supported me with tons of things, not other than real estate as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend. So to get in touch with him if you guys are also interested or in financing a real estate, or if you want to know more about like how one could be, let's say, invest into various things or be financially free. For more such videos on building wealth in Germany, feel free to subscribe to our channel, to like this video because this keeps encouraging us to make more such videos for you. And if you're interested in more such videos, you can click on one of our playlists here, which talks about how you can create a defensive strategy and try to use these insurances for building wealth in Germany. Or you can click on one of our playlists here, which talks about more videos about how you could create wealth in Germany. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much, Jan, again.
Thank you,
And
Gaurav, for the invitation.
thank you. And for viewers, we'll see you in the other one. Till then, that's Gaurav signing off.